All right, look, it's been about what 3? Nah, it hasn't been 3. It's been 2 years since the whole Kendrick Drake beef, um, slash J.Cole, and I just got to give my thoughts on this. My bad, I had to clear my throat real quick. But the J. Cole disrespect needs to stop. I know a lot of y'all are hip hop. Some of y'all might be hip hop purists. Another bunch of y'all just might be drama, drama loving, you know what I'm saying? Like, men. I don't get it. But that's besides the point. But this whole beef between Drake and Kendrick was personal. Like Cole and Drake, they did the first person shooter, which Kendrick was supposed to be on the song. A lot of people like to glance over that part, but yeah, he was supposed to be on the song. End up not doing the song. Song ends up going number one. And then I want to say, a bit later, Kendrick, he dropped the like that verse and you know what I'm saying, which caused, Cole to drop 7-minute drill. Even though Kendrick really wasn't dissing Cole on like that, but I guess everybody got in Cole's head and, you know what I'm saying, they gassed him up and, he made that, I'm not going to call it a weak diss, but, if you're familiar with Cole's music and just what he brings to the table as an artist, you would know, he wasn't even trying, he wasn't, you could tell, he didn't want to do that. But anyways, but what was going on between Drake and Kendrick, it was personal. These are two dudes that's been throwing subliminals back and forth at each other since, 2013? 2012, 2013? You call it 2014. 2013, 2014, around that time. They've been throwing subliminals at each other. And it just finally came to a head. Those two generally don't like each other. So, what I don't understand is why would y'all want Cole to be a part of that? If you got two people that really just don't like each other and Cole is on some yo, this is some hip hop. There's some hip hop stuff. I'm willing to, get in the booth and let my pen do the work. That really don't, it's really not going to solve nothing when two people just really don't like each other. So, which leads me to the fact that a lot of y'all are just Drake fans and y'all just mad because I guess you could say Cole left Drake hanging. In any case, it was Drake's battle. It wasn't Cole's battle. And if you ask me, I think he made the right decision. He made the wise decision to bow out of that. Just like how we said on Middle Child. On Middle Child, he said, yo, if I'm going to smoke a rapper, it's going to be legit. It's not going to be for clout, fame, not because my records ain't selling the same. Y'all know the rest. So how could you be mad at somebody? First of all, how could you be mad at somebody for them releasing a track called 7-Minute Drill on a tape called Might Delete Later and then get mad when he deletes it later? That's what I find very ironic, about it. But he made the right decision. And I just think people just need to stop hating. I think most people, as Cole fans, we were disappointed at the apology. It's damn, he finally getting his shine. He finally getting, the respect that he's supposed to be given. And all of a sudden it's nah, I'm going to see my way out of this. There's that part of where it's damn, Cole. But then there's the other part where it's all right, I get it. Because you really wasn't trying to, you knew the beef was going to get messy. But he made the right decision, for himself as a man, And then it was just gossip. The whole beef was gossip. We have yet to see any proof that Kendrick was beating on his wife or We have yet to see anything stating that Drake has this secret daughter somewhere and that he's actually you know what, you know, a media file. But hip hop has just really never been about fake beefing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, there's always been competition, but the best way for you to be in competition is for you to battle, you know what I'm saying, the best as far as, you know, like, obviously nobody, I mean, there might still be people, like, you know, you have people that do rap battles and stuff, but, you know, the best way for you to do that as a mainstream artist is to, like, yo, hop on somebody's song and, yo, you better write your best verse because I'm coming for you. And that's what Cole has been doing consistently. Cole has been getting on songs with people that, honestly, at his stature and where he's at in his career, he should have nothing left to prove. So, for instance, Benny the Butcher delivered the hardest verse of that year on Benny the Butcher song, on Johnny P's Caddies. You know? Absol, Daylight. You know, just those two names alone, like, anybody that's ever listened to Absol or Daylight, you just know the way how their bars and they verses and how they rap is structured. Like, you can't really get it within one listen. Like, they're always using like double and triple entendres. Like, there's always the way how they structure their lyrics is just something different. And for him to actually get on songs with dudes like that, it really shows you, like, yo, like, his penmanship is elite. You know, you can't take anything away from him as an artist because most artists do duck that. Most artists do not want to get on songs with other artists because they don't want to be outshone by somebody. But here you go, like, you got this, you know what I'm saying? To me, he's still in that big three. But you have somebody that's actually going out there and getting on the songs with some of the best lyricists and still delivering quality verses. You know what I'm saying? To the point where you can't say, oh, he's being washed on the song. And all people could talk about is Grippy. You know what I'm saying? That little, you know, little play around verse. All we talking about, oh, he ain't been the same since he released Grippy. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta relax. Another point I really want to make about this whole beefing thing, it doesn't have the same effect in, you know what I'm saying, nowadays. Like, I guess, you know, back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, like, there was some appeal to it, but now, if it's really fake beef, like, people not really checking for it. For example, y'all remember Joey Badass last year? Joey, who is one of my favorite artists, decided, like, yo, I'm going to beef with everybody that's TDE affiliated or anybody on the West Coast for that matter. And I'm going to just rap. And it was cool for like a week. You know, it was a good little, you know, back and forth between him, Reason, who else dropped? I think Daylight dropped. And what's his name? Ray Vaughn. Like, all of that was cool, but when it was time for Joey's album to drop, it didn't really do no numbers. He had to basically cancel his whole tour. Now, I don't know the exact reasons of him having to cancel his whole tour, but I mean, obviously, like, he wasn't able to get any traction with the album, you know, because the fake beef just ain't where it's at, like, you know. Because we all know this is not real beef. We know it's not on site. Like, you know, y'all lyrical sparring, but y'all could have just all got on a song together and just, you know what I'm saying, made a good record, made a hit record, you know, opposed to doing this whole, like, oh, I'm doing this for competition and, you know, you fake beefing and it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got eyes on you for like a week or two, but when it's time to push the records and sell the records, like, yo, it's not working out. So that's what y'all wanted Cole to do? Y'all wanted him to have a fake beef with Kendrick where there's really no static there. And you know what I'm saying? You could tell there's really no static there because Cole dropped 7 Minute Drill. And he was like, you know what? Kendrick, if you want to go ahead and diss me back and take your best shot, go ahead. I take it on the chin. Kendrick has yet to he has yet to drop a direct diss track on Cole after that, and I feel like that speaks volumes. Um, and then it's just like you have to understand too, like for everybody that's disrespecting Cole right now, Cole has been that dude. Like from '09 till now, he has been that guy, and it's been very interesting, and it's been a joy to see the evolution in his career from him being from just hearing him from, you know what I'm saying, the warm up or the come up. I really started listening to him from the come up. From the come up all the way to he's about to drop the fall off. Like there's always been evolution in the music. And what people don't understand, Cole's music is always gonna sell. He's always gonna sell out tours. And there's always gonna be a market for him. And even if you want to discount him out of the big three conversation, you don't have to. Because he's always gonna be that dude. Because he's been able to have an audience from the time he's been in the industry, you know, even before he became a household name till now. You got to look from his evolution from just all the way back then. Even just the pen game, like his pen, his cadence, the way he's rapping, like it's gotten better over the years. And typically you don't really see that with rappers. Typically your problem is like your first 2 or 3 albums, and then after that you start to water down. But he's consistently got better, and he's consistently tested his own limits and pushed himself, you know what I'm saying, like further than, you know, a lot of us thought he would go. I remember one of his biggest knocks, like, yo, J. Cole put me to sleep. He heard that, so he started rapping faster. But he's still able to slow it back down for the OG fans, for the people that like that. And, you know, that just shows the type of artist, you know, that he is. So that's all I got to say. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to touch on other things. And this is a new channel. Like, share, subscribe. You know, these are my takes. I'm going to give some, like, I'm not going to say controversial takes, but I'm gonna give my own spin and opinion on certain things regarding certain topics in music, albums, all of that. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.